Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Maou 2099, episode 2, in which I actually don't know. We haven't really fully gotten into the story, right? Into the swing of things. We don't even really know where the story is where the story is gonna go, right? What's gonna be the motivation here exactly, what's gonna be the exact goal, right? Like, we still don't know those things, so it's kind of hard to tell where this episode is gonna lead us, right? Like, there are various ways we could go, but let's maybe start with the previous episode. In the previous episode, we met Maou, Veltol Velvet Velswald, who was fighting a hero named Graham, and lost. And lost, hearing from Graham that he lost because he's lacking the mortality, right? The mortal spirit, the life, rather, right? He's lacking that because the Demon Lord and his other generals and stuff, they are all, well, his entire nation really are just immortals. Then we see him awaken in some sort of a crypt, and we meet another character, Machina, or Machina, or I think Machina, right? Yeah, we meet her. She apparently was the one who awoke Maou. We leave the crypt, and as it turns out, we are in Shibuya. Sorry, there's, I don't know, I have a frog in my throat or something. We are in Shibuya Station. Shibuya, right? Yeah, I think so. Shibuya Station, we are on Earth, in Japan, namely in the year 2099, so 500 years into the future, but not quite at the same time. I really was expecting this show to be essentially the magical world with demons and elves and dwarves and everything like that, just progressed 1,000 years or however much, and now it's techno-magical. But rather, what happened is more alike to a conjunction of the spheres from The Witcher, where the magical world of Maou and Earth, our normal regular Earth, kinda just merged together, and that led to a lot of strife, that led to a lot of wars, a lot of issues, but in the end a whole new kind of society, a whole new kind of civilization rather, kind of arose from that. A civilization that uses magic kinda in lieu of technology, kinda as an enhancement to technology, right? Like, instead of using Wi-Fi, they're using magical ether, right? Stuff like that. There's only one issue, as we learn. The humans and the non-humans started essentially hunting down the immortals. They figured out some anti-immortal weaponry, they figured out how to get rid of them, and they just wanted to eradicate them. And the immortals are Mao's people, after all, so now he has a reason all the more to conquer this world and to bring the glory of his people back, or whatever his goal is gonna be. We still don't really fully properly know his goals. He casts some magic. It turns out that people are not really all that impressed. They have to run together with Machina, and they do indeed run away. Machina tells Maou about his demon generals, where they are and where they aren't, right? Like, a couple of them disappeared, a couple of them are dead, I believe. And she refuses to answer the question about one Marcus. Then she goes to buy something to drink, I believe. And while she's absent, Maou meets Takahashi, an ether hacker kind of girl who uses her magical ether powers to hack a billboard with Anya, no, not Anya Melfisas, Towa Sama's Hololive Towa's fucking live stream. yeah, although in the corner there was also like either a live stream or a video of Holo ID, right? Anya, Reine, Oli. She hacks all those billboards and puts porn on all of them. Maou can see the ether that she's manipulating, so that's something interesting. That's something that we can maybe continue with. Maybe it's going to be one of his strengths. We don't know that. That meeting seems largely inconsequential at the time, but I believe that she will eventually join the team, whatever kind of team Maou is going to assemble. Then Maou finds Marcus, visits him, and it turns out that Marcus doesn't really want to be an underling anymore. He never did, actually. He was only following Maou because following Maou was the best way to gain a lot of power, but now that he has his own power, he doesn't really need Maou. He figured out some sort of implants that you get in the nape of your neck, and that implant eliminates, like, I believe, 3 stages from casting a spell, and so he is able to cast his spell cancellation faster than Maou can cast his spells. And so, yeah, Maou kind of weak in this world. He gets thrown out, and later also he gets beaten up by some random gangoons in the streets. So yeah, he's kind of weak right now. We don't know if it's because he got weakened by the resurrection, or are the people around him simply that much stronger, right? Has humanity and non-humanity progressed so much that he's just no big deal nowadays? We don't really know that. We eventually make it to Makina's place, which is a very small place, like a 3 tatami kind of room, I think, something thereabouts. And yeah, that's where Maou and Makina are staying. And yeah, I said initially that we don't really know where are we going from this point, right? So it's really hard for me to predict what today's episode's gonna be, or even think about what it's gonna be, because we could focus on Maou trying to find his other allies, right? That could absolutely be the focus. We could focus on Maou trying to grow stronger. We can focus on Maou trying to make Makina stronger. We could focus on Maou trying to assemble a brand new team that is strong in this existing world, right? Inviting Takahashi, for example, to it. We could go in a completely opposite direction and have a slice of lifey Hataraku Mao-sama kind of a show where Maou goes to work at WcDonald's, treats it as, I don't know, as some time off, as a vacation, and in the meantime he's trying to figure out how to climb back to the top, or I don't know. I really don't know in which direction this show is gonna go. That was the big missing piece from episode 1, I think, because knowing the general direction is really helpful at the beginning of the story. Right now we only know a bit of the backstory, and we know the world, and we know some of the characters, and that's about it. We don't know the goal, we don't know the immediate goal, right? Because the overarching goal is world domination, probably. But what is the immediate goal, right? To gather allies, or to get stronger, or what is it? We don't know the direction. We don't even know if it's going to be more of an action show, or is it going to be more of a slice of life, or more of a comedy. I have no clue. Hopefully this episode is going to answer those questions. And yeah, how about we just watch it and see? Right? Shall we? Oh, my throat starts to hurt. That's probably why my voice is so weird. Hopefully it doesn't hurt too bad until I finish the recording. Worst case scenario, I don't know. I'm gonna take tomorrow off from recording or something. Okay. Man, I'm really losing my voice. You're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Maou 2099, episode 2 in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh? False start. Again, support Patreon, YouTube, or not. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Machina? Yeah, looks like Machina. And Maou probably saved her, right? Yep, sure enough. Okay, so he's been collecting immortals, basically, to, like, join his team or whatnot, right? The immortals have been persecuted even in his original world, and he essentially led an uprising against those who try to oppress the immortals, right? And now we see basically a repeat of the story where the immortals are also being oppressed and hunted down. Okay, the place is a little bit bigger than I imagined, so there's that at least. Cheese? Those look like differently colored kinds of tofu. What is that? Like a personal assistant kind of thing? Personal assistant. Cryotolerance zone? What do you mean cryotolerance? And what do you mean -2 degrees is warm? Nuclear winter? Magical winter, maybe. You probably don't need nukes when you have magic, right? From what we've seen, it does seem plenty post-apocalyptic. Yeah, some white rice, some grilled salmon. That's good eating. Okay, he knows how to use chopsticks. Miso, probably. What's going on with my camera? I'ma restart it right quick. There we go. It's tasty because it was made with love. So yeah, probably some sort of a post-apocalyptic world. What was the term? Like cryo resistance sphere? Something like that? Which would maybe imply that the world is essentially frozen solid, and it's just those spheres or domes that are heated up and people live there, kind of like Frostpunk. Maybe? Maybe. Have we seen the opening? I don't think we have. I would have remembered those robots or Gundams or mechas or whatever they are. Okay, so Marcus is probably gonna be the final boss. And sure enough, Takahashi is joining the team. Alrighty. Besides Marcus? Hmm. Okay, so that's good at least. Whoever survived is likely to still survive. Yeah, probably. He probably ideally wanted to be the one and only immortal left. Immortal Furnace. Hmm. Oh? Hmm. Not quite regenerating. Right, so his magic is weaker because of this world, like mana density or something. So we're going the like egregore path. The more believers a being has, the stronger it becomes. Okay. Yeah, we just gotta rebuild this belief. Exactly. We have an entire eternity to do so. You should probably wear something less conspicuous, though. Just saying, you look like a cosplayer right now. Yeah, exactly. Huh? That doesn't look like a store. Oh, like a clothing printer kind of thing? Maybe? Of course. Oh, don't tempt fate. Let's not. Yeah. Uh, and you would also be immediately captured by the police. So, let's not. Black. Not from the perspective of fashion. Tracksuit, of course. uh, of course, we're going for tracksuit. That's that's a staple of every single fucking isekai protagonist. It says shrimp fried rice. Sure. Unitaro. Hmm. I guess Unitaro is like Uniqlo of the future, or legally distinct Uniqlo. Right? The brand of cheap clothing is Uniqlo, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah. Phones. But now you just get a Familia. Okay. So basically smartphones of the future. Do you even feel anything through those gloves? Of course. No, he wanted to stare at your neck. True. If all of your like payments and transportation tickets and stuff are essentially bound to it, yeah, it's a necessity. Not so much improvement as necessity, right? Yeah, probably a good idea. Yeah, let's not. He needs you at your best to support him, and you're not gonna be able to do that if you're half dead from overwork. Yeah. I actually like Veltol, I gotta say. So what? WcDonald's? Or the classic of a building work site? It's gotta be WcDonald's. We already have a bit of a parallel to Hataraku Mao-sama, right? With the more people fear me, the more power I get. The more people believe in me, the more power I get. Power I get, right? Yeah, you gotta, secure your income. You can't just call off. uh, okay, I'm assuming it's like a prototype thing or precursor of the Familia. And also a rape alarm. uh, at least it's not attached to his Randozeru. Yeah, that's gotta be a problem. Could work at an udon place, maybe. So even that was dependent on the faith. Interesting. I mean, that's straightforward. Uh, no, not quite. Gotta forge it. Hmm. Work history. Demon Lord. Yeah, that's not gonna fly, is it? Okay, so not a construction job. Uh, that's the like weather magic, right? Okay, so it's something else. Yeah, we probably don't need that. Could join the military, I guess. Assuming military is still a thing. Could join law enforcement, maybe. That would be poetic in a way. Yeah, nobody remembers that. It probably doesn't exist anymore. Uh, just mad ravings of a Chuni, right? Or mental illness. That's how he's probably gonna take that resume. No job for you. Yeah. Right. Of course, that's gonna be an issue. You probably even needed to get paid, right? Kinda, yeah. You already have the neat clothes on you. Might as well just embrace the lifestyle. Mm. Uh, the hacker girl, Takahashi. Gotta be her, right? Yep, sure enough. Yeah. I like the highlights everybody has in their hair. Also, really cool track in the background. I mean, it says right here that he's the Maou, right? True. Gotta be respectful. Of course. Uh, Probably BL as well, right? That's a bit of a different Familia design, isn't it? An older model, manually modified, newer model. Hmm. Useful ability. He could be like a repairman, right? In this day and age, figure out that magic doesn't quite go to the magical transistor in the TV and it's the one that needs replacing. Maybe. And having a very spotty resume. Okay, so we're not gonna learn why her familia is different. Hmm. A VTuber. uh, of course. Uh, of course. Inspired by Towa-sama, Demon Lord decided to become a VTuber. I mean, he's never gonna drop the kayfabe, however you pronounce it, is he? He doesn't need to play up a persona. He just gonna be himself. That's actually genius. And people following him maybe would count as believers, would supply him in faith, right? Maybe. Uh, we don't know how strict the rules are regarding his strength and faith, right? Do people have to genuinely believe in him as the Demon Lord and genuinely worship him? Or is being a fan and throwing a couple of akasupas at him count? Just believing him to be a fake, to be pretending to be a Demon Lord, does that count, right? Hopefully it does. Of course. Well, at least now I know which direction the show is gonna have. And I like it because that was the missing piece. The missing piece from episode 1. Let's watch it again, shall we? So, my theory is that it's not necessarily that the demons and immortals were evil, but rather Mao was saving the immortals who were being oppressed. And he built essentially a resistance force. Mao was saving the immortals who were being oppressed. His faction was not evil, right? Kind of sort of Helk adjacent, right? Helk-ish. Yeah, he heard the rumors of an immortal and he immediately came here to save that immortal because he knows what regular folk does to them, right? Probably how it went. What's she cutting here exactly? Orange slice, green slice, white slice, and yellow slice. And they somehow look like vegetables in the end. Are they like, I don't know, like astronaut food, right? Where you don't get your carrots, but you get blended up carrots with some sort of a coagulant, and you get like a carrot brick, and you slice it up and use it as a carrot. Is that what food is in this world, or is it just they didn't want to bother drawing a carrot, so they used a slice instead? I don't know. 13th of the month of the Dragon 2099 fused era. Cryo tolerance zone -2 degrees. Yeah. Some sort of a ice age. Ice age. I'm gonna say in parentheses Frostpunk. And in another parenthesis, nuclear / magical winter. Right? Maybe. -2 degrees. It's warm. -2 degrees is warm. It's not. Assuming they mean Celsius, which they would be stupid not to. -2 degrees would be like below freezing, so yeah, not a warm weather. Still a nice dish. Miso soup, some grilled tuna or salmon, white rice and green tea. Yeah, I mean that's a very nice breakfast. I have some in the fridge. I'm gonna have to heat it up and eat it. Some buckwheat with smoked salmon. That's also great. You just boil some buckwheat, crumble smoked salmon into it, add some parsley leaves, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of salt, pepper. It's great. Yeah, and he likes it as well, because it was made with love. OP. Is this Machina at her strongest? Maybe. Or is it someone else? Because, I mean, here we see Maou and stronger Maou. Here we see Machina and someone. Here we see the hero, Gram, and I'm gonna assume his sister, who died to the demons, but probably not. I'm gonna say Gram's sister, ? Did not die to immortals. She was killed to make him fight immortals. Probably something like that. Takahashi, that's Kinohara, Marcus, and Maou showing off his full strength and the team standing up to Marcus. I wonder, is he gonna be like the final villain of the season, or is he gonna be an overarching villain or antagonist rather? We'll see. We don't know the whereabouts of any other immortals, alas. No immortal hunts, thankfully, so that's good. Yeah, they were originally instigated to secure Marcus's position, and he has no reason to revive them. So, presumably, even if we find some dead immortals, we can revive them, right? So, even if one of the other demon generals or whatever turns up dead, we can maybe bring them to that shrine in Shinjuku and resurrect them, which is cool. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. And it seems like Marcus's plan was essentially to become the one and only immortal on Earth, the one who holds the most power, which, I mean, that's a good plan. Immortal Furnace, a way to permanently destroy an immortal? Maybe. Immortal Furnace is a way to destroy them permanently, or it's gonna be fucked up. Immortal bodies could be like an endless source of power. Throw an immortal body into a furnace and it will burn, regenerate, burn, regenerate, burn, regenerate. You essentially get an infinite amount of energy that way. This show doesn't strike me as one who would like have this fucked up ideas in it, but just in case. Immortal Furnace uses immortals as self-regenerating fuel to produce electricity. Or again, it could be a way to just destroy them permanently, which would explain why the villagers wanted to throw Makina into a volcano, right? Maybe. We don't know the rules of their immortality, really, right? Like, when an immortal is burned to ash, can they resurrect? Can they resurrect from just a free soul that they can, like, someone else can summon to an altar and they will slowly rebuild from the soul alone? Do they need just even a shred of their body left and they can regenerate from that? Right? Like, what are the rules of their immortality, of their regeneration? Because if they need a bit of their body to regenerate from, then acid, fire, there are all sorts of ways to just completely destroy that body. There's a novel by Pierce Anthony, Xanth, Xanth. I have a couple of them on my bookshelf. In one of those novels, there is a character who is ever regenerating. And that character can regenerate from essentially just a single cell of their body, even. Right? At some point, I believe he gets eaten by trolls, and then he just revives himself from their dung, essentially, because there were like bits and pieces of his bones in it or something like that, but it just takes him more time. The limitation there is that at some point he gets quartered and pieces of his body get buried in different spots. And because they are not destroyed, and there is no physical possibility of him like reconnecting with them, he cannot be resurrected. Well, he is alive, I believe, all this time, but he cannot like regenerate his body because of that. But if his body is like completely destroyed, but there's like an eyelash left, he could regenerate from that eyelash. That was a non sequitur. But yeah, I recommend Xanth by Pierce Anthony. Really cool books. More than just my regeneration has weakened, right? Elstuna. So I guess that's why it was so meh, so whatever, because he doesn't have enough power. It's not that his powers are now commonplace. Gotcha. That's also probably why he lost the fight with those Ganguns, right? He doesn't have the physical strength for that either. It's not just his magic, it's his everything. Regeneration, hunger, physical strength, everything that is dependent on the faith. Which is a cool idea. Not a novel one by any stretch of imagination, but really cool. I called it a egregore adjacent, I think. The theory of egregores, if you're unfamiliar, I think I mentioned that theory multiple times already in multiple different anime. But basically, it's a theory of like God creation in a way, right? Like you create a being. Let's call that being Zargotrax, right? And you believe that Zargotrax exists, and Zargotrax doesn't have much power because of that. But you convince 100 people that Zargotrax exists, and they start believing in Zargotrax. So Zargotrax gains power and becomes a thing. And the more people believe in Zargotrax, the stronger he becomes, and the more power he has. He can like create miracles and shit, right? And that's like the theory of so many people believe in Ra. So Ra was able to help build pyramids with like picking up bricks and shit. Nowadays people don't believe in Ra, so Ra doesn't have power, right? This sort of thing, which is, I mean, very useful for fantasy applications like that, right? Because that's essentially what's taking place here. The more people believe in our Zargotrax here, the more power he has. But right now, it's probably only like what? Makina, who believes in him. Whatever other demon generals he had underneath him that might still be alive. Marcus, probably inadvertently, right? He doesn't have to like it. He doesn't have to want to support Veltol, but he knows that he exists. He believes that he exists, so he is supplying him with some magic. Maybe Kinohara as well. From this episode onwards, Takahashi is going to be another believer. At present, you're only spoken of as a part of history, but at least he went down in history. You know, that's an achievement. Yeah, can just stick around and nap. 3D scan. Yeah, clothing made to order, and of course, it's gotta be a tracksuit. Of course, it's gotta be a tracksuit. What else would it be? God damn it. And a Maou t-shirt, because of course, Uniqlo. Man, it would be nice to get like freshly sewn clothes for your exact 3D scan at any random store. The best we can get is, I don't know if it exists in other countries, but in Poland we have a shoe place where they sell shoes, chain, e-obuwie it's called, and they have those like things where you stand on them and they measure your feet and it gets saved into your account, so you don't have to like browse all of the shoes and try them on constantly, because it can just tell you which shoes fit your leg, and then you can just get them and try them on and pick whichever you want, right? That's a cool idea. Not quite like making the shoe bespoke for your feet, right? But still. There was a similar idea with printed, quote-unquote, clothes in... it was Powrót z Gwiazd in Polish. In English, it would be like Return from the Stars, I believe, by Stanisław Lem. One of the, in my opinion, best sci-fi writers. He's the guy who wrote Solaris, Invincible? No, not Invincible. Solaris is probably his most well-known novel. In Return from the Stars, there was also a very cool way of the future of getting clothes, basically clothes in a can. You stand, you spray yourself with that can of clothes or some machine spray, so I don't remember, and then you just like cut off the bits that you don't want, and you just have your clothes. They dry, You just take them off, put them back on, and they are like exactly fitting to your body. If you want like a flourish or something, you can just spray yourself some puffy shoulders or whatever you want. Unfortunately, you gotta go nowadays still to like a Primark or somewhere and just get your clothes and hope they fit. Automated digital payment, of course. Yeah, sure is convenient. Well, not so much convenient as it is a necessity for your life at this point, isn't it? Like, sure, it might be convenient to get access to that personal assistant, right? It might be convenient to get your weather and whatnot, but also it's the thing that, you know, facilitates payments and probably the pay that you get from your workplace. And probably when they admit you to a hospital, they check your familia for your status and whatnot, right? So it's kind of something that you have to have. Not quite like a phone that if I don't have a phone, sure, life would be a little bit inconvenient, but still possible, right? I still have my plastic ID that I can use. I still have my plastic debit cards and credit cards, right? All those things still exist. So yeah, it's difficult to get through daily life without one of these, indeed. Doesn't necessarily improve your life either. Yeah, it's a necessity, not an improvement. I like Veltol. I really do. He actually like wants to do something. He's not conceited. He's not haughty. He sees that, well, we need some more money. I'm just gonna go to work. It's not above him. Yeah, that's cool. And the way of looking for a job that everybody's parents probably, or grandparents at this point, I don't know, probably told them that works, right? Just walk into a store, have a firm handshake, hand them your resume, and you're gonna get hired. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, and it did not start working that way in 2099 either. Illegal immigrants, so it's not uncommon for illegal immigrants to exist. Interesting. Commercial guild. And don't join IHMI. IHMI is relevant. I don't know how, but chances are it is. He wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't important at some point. Job placement, and of course, no real job experience. Yeah, I can eliminate armies. I can command those armies. I won a battle of Orbeal 1,000 and something years ago. Nobody even remembers that. I made the dungeon with... What the fuck is a dungeon? Can you make dungeons? Is it like... Are you a game designer, maybe? We have a job for game designers. Kingdom management. I played a lot of Crusader Kings. Gotta be like Crusader Kings 6 at this point. 500 years ago, yeah. Interesting that he didn't even like think of, hey, are you immortal? Do we need to call for a purge or something? No, he's just like, God fucking damn it. Another fucking Truni. No, we don't have a job for you. Get the fuck away. And of course, the decision has been reached after careful consideration of the resume in this interview, because of course, there was absolutely no careful consideration given, but still. And yeah, that's gonna be the biggest issue here. No familia. Simply incapable of measuring your greatness, Lord Veltol, of course. And yeah, they know each other. That's a very interesting decor in this place. Look at how much vintage technology is there, right? A laptop with 2 touchscreens. Who the fuck uses laptops nowadays? Come on, right? Some like TV remote. What's this decor? Some iPhones also nailed to a wall. I'm glad Makina had a friend in this world, though. I gotta say, I was afraid that she was just completely alone, lonely, and miserable without Maou here, but I'm glad that she had Takahashi with her. Yeah, another believer. And she has a weird familia. I'm gonna assume that's also gonna be important somehow. Takahashi's weird familia is important. Maybe modified by herself since she's a hacker. Maybe an older model that's easier to hack. Maybe a newer model. Maybe the model of familia that they use in, I don't know, some other continent or whatever, and she just arrived here with that familia and not this one. There's something about it. I just don't know what. Use the flow of mana to figure out, yeah. I really thought that we're gonna go the angle of some sort of a maybe repairman or something, right? Because everything works based on magic and the flow of magic nowadays, and he being able to, detect that flow, he'd be able to figure out anything, basically, right? It's as if you were able to see the flow of electricity in electrical devices. Would make for a hell of an easy time trying to figure out what's wrong with a TV or a phone or something. There was an anime. I can't remember the title of it. It wasn't quite a repairman. I'm not talking Handyman Saito. I think the plot of that anime was that there was like a war between demons and humans, and the war ended, and humans won, and there was suddenly no need for the heroes. So the hero started working at an AC shop, I believe, and later the daughter of the Demon Lord also joined him at that AC shop, and they were selling air conditioning, and I can't remember more of it, but there was an anime like that. Yeah, commercial guild is out. No familia. Yeah, now that they're discussing it, it suddenly becomes very apparent that what he's talking about is a YouTuber, VTuber, streamer. Something that makes my existence known throughout the world. What work that the Demon Lord from 500 years ago could do in the modern era, that's perfect backstory, right? Raising renown. Distinct behavior, manner of speech, quickly establishes character, yep. Hottie with a sexy voice. It's not even like animated stream or animated image of Towa. It's just a piece of a fucking VOD from her channel. Someone's gonna be able to pinpoint the exact video and the exact timestamp of it. I bet. Good ever mortal. How's the pain of life treating you mortals today? Konban mortal. He even has like a perfect fucking VTuber name. Veltol Velvet Velsvald. Amazing. I'm glad to know that even in the year 2099, HoloLive changes lives. Debut stream The Demon Lord Veltol has arisen. It would be glorious if the next episode was actually just his stream. Just not even animated. Just live 2D of Veltol with his voice actor doing the bit playing Minecraft. That would be genius, actually. That would be genius. Oh boy. Okay. So, this was a good episode. It was funny, it was fun, and most importantly, it established the kind of a show it's going to be. That was the one missing ingredient from episode 1, and this episode gave me basically all the answers I needed, right? Now we know that it's gonna be probably more of a light-hearted kind of show. It's not gonna be Veltol trying to climb his way up to Marcus through corridors of corpses and blood, right? It's not gonna be about trying to find ancient artifacts to grow stronger. It's not gonna be about assembling his armies, right? It's gonna be about raising his renown, because he needs that to grow stronger. It's gonna be about raising his renown in a very light-hearted way, as a streamer, as a VTuber, or flesh tuber rather, right? Instead of raising his renown in an underground fight club or something like that, right? That was the important bit missing. Now we know it's going to be lighthearted, it's going to be a comedy. There might be some more serious moments. We've seen in the opening his half of his face being bloody, so I can see some action scenes, I can see some fights for sure, but most of the time it's going to be him and Makina's and Takahashi's wacky adventures, streaming and trying to adjust to the world and stuff like that, right? That's what it's gonna be. Cool. I like it. I actually like it as a concept, and I like that I know that. I also love that it's just Toa. It's just her stream. The only other anime that I've seen use VTubers this overtly was the VTuber anime, whose name I forgot. But they also use live 2D for the actual in anime bits, and there were streams by Aruran, I believe, and others. Can't remember who else exactly. Cool. It's also very interesting to me seeing how anime changes over the years, you know? When I was a kid and I would watch anime that was set in contemporary times, everybody had flip phones, right? Or dumb phones, or not even that, right? People in anime would be calling from their home phone with a cord and whatnot. Then I started noticing more smartphones appearing in anime, right? And now it's VTubers. It's actually great to see the progression of time also reflected in the media with this degree of immediacy. It really took a lot of time to see smartphones in anime. There were attempts at placing things similar to smartphones, but they would always look like a brick with a screen for some godforsaken reason, right? You didn't really see those candy bar sleek designs, and now it's VTubers. Now it's VTubers, and I kind of love it. I kind of do. Yeah, that was a fun episode. We know exactly what we're doing. I wonder. One more theory. His generals find him because of his streams. Mao's generals find him because of his streams, right? Imagine one of his demon generals sending an Akasupa. Veltol-sama, it's me! Right? Cool. I like it. I actually do. I actually enjoy this show. Now that I know the tone, now that I know the direction, now I can truly and honestly enjoy it. So, yeah. That was cool. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, in the comments below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. If you know which stream was that Toa stream fragment from, then also leave that in the comments. I'm really curious. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future episodes, not only Maou 2099, but also Arifureta Season 3, Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, Mecha Ude, Mahonare, and Dan Da Dan. Plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when those episodes go up and when I go live, because I do stream sometimes. Not as a VTuber, but I do stream. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zarena, Yuki Ally, Dr. Watt, Akamaser, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter, and you can join them if you want without having to be a streamer.